Okay, let's talk about building an emergency fund. Because, for many of us, thinking about saving 3, maybe even 6 months of living expenses, it just feels huge, like staring up at Everest.
Yeah.
So big, it's almost easier to, well, not even start.
That's a really common feeling. It feels overwhelming.
Exactly. But what if there were, like, proven ways, almost stealthy methods to build that financial safety net, strategies that cut through the overwhelm and turn that mountain into smaller, manageable steps?
And that's what we're digging into today.
Yes. Our deep dive is all about giving you those practical, expert-backed strategies. We've got real-world examples lined up, basically your shortcut to getting a robust safety net without feeling like you're giving up everything.
You know what's fascinating and something our sources really emphasize is that this isn't just about stacking cash. It's also about building genuine emotional resilience.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, each small win, each time you manage to save a little bit, it actually helps you handle financial stress better, kind of rewires things slightly. So it turns this daunting task into a series of, well, mental victories.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel capable.
Right, you feel like you're in control.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So the question really becomes, how do we systematically tackle that marathon saving goal? How do we build not just the fun, but also that stronger financial self? And, crucially, stay out of that high-interest debt trap when life inevitably throws those curveballs.
Okay, so you can't conquer the whole mountain at once. What's the first most powerful move our sources say we should make just to get things going?
Yeah. The absolute starting point they recommend is what's often called a starter fund.
A starter fund. Okay,
It's a smaller, much more attainable goal. Think maybe $500 or perhaps $1,000.
right, something that doesn't feel impossible from day one.
Exactly. It sounds incredibly simple, but the impact is really profound. This first chunk of money is often enough to cover those annoying smaller emergencies. A minor car repair, the washing machine suddenly dying, or maybe hitting your insurance deductible.
Things that pop up and derail you if you're not prepared.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, the psychological boost you get from hitting that first tangible goal, it's an absolute game changer. Most financial advisors we looked at point to $1,000 as that sort of magic first milestone.
But even less is okay to start.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, even just stashing away $500 or maybe just 1 month worth of essential expenses is a really powerful launch pad.
That makes sense. So even a little bit is better than nothing.
Far better. That initial sum, however modest, is way more significant than zero. We saw advice from credit unions saying exactly that. Don't feel overwhelmed if you can't reach your full goal immediately. Start small. Even $500 or $1,000 is better than having no emergency fund at all.
It's about breaking the cycle, maybe.
Yes, because this isn't just about the cash itself. It's about preventing a, say, $200 problem like a flat tire or a quick trip to urgent care from snowballing into high-interest debt because you had no choice but to put it on a credit card.
Right. That small problem becomes a big one fast.
Exactly. There was this great story we found about a recent college grad. She just made it her mission to save $50 from every paycheck. Not a huge amount.
Okay.
Within about 6 months, she'd pulled together over $600. And wouldn't you know it, she needed it for an unexpected minor car issue. It covered it.
Wow, perfect timing.
Right. And that early success wasn't just practical. It really fueled her motivation to keep going. She saw it worked.
Okay, so you get that starter fund banked, you feel that win. What's the next step to keep it going? How do you make saving feel less like a chore?
The next logical step is all about locking in consistency. And the core idea here, the philosophy, is to pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first, like it's a bill.
Precisely. You treat your emergency fund contribution like it's non-negotiable. You deal with it before you even think about other spending.
So practically, what does that look like?
It's pretty straightforward. You move a set amount. Maybe it's just $20, maybe $50, maybe $200 if you can swing it into your savings account every single payday.
And automation helps here, I bet.
Oh, hugely. Better yet, automate it. Just set up an automatic transfer. Imagine having, say, $100 just automatically move from your checking to your emergency savings the second your paycheck lands. Takes the decision-making out of it.
Yeah, no willpower needed then.
Exactly. And building on that, the power of automation really shines. It's like having a silent financial partner working for you in the background.
Right.
Many people genuinely discover that if they don't actually see that money sitting in their checking account, they don't miss it. It sidesteps that whole willpower battle and just ensures consistent flow into your fund. It makes saving routine almost effortless.
That sounds ideal.
We saw a fantastic example of this. a busy two-income family, they simply set up an auto transfer of $250 on the first of every month, just straight into their emergency fund.
Okay.
Over a single year, that quietly grew to $3,000. With literally no ongoing conscious effort from them, they had this brilliant way of describing it.
What was that?
They called it subscribing to their own financial security.
Huh. I like that, subscribing to safety. What about people with irregular income, though, like freelancers?
Yeah, good question. If your income fluctuates, you just adapt the principle. Maybe you save a certain percentage of each payment you receive, or you make a conscious effort to set aside more, the extra money during those higher earning months.
So the method might change, but the habit stays.
Exactly. The key is just establishing that consistent habit, whatever it looks like for you.
Okay, let's talk about finding money. The idea of finding cash you didn't even realize you were spending, it's like a treasure hunt, right?
Yeah.
Where do sources suggest people start looking?
Right. It's like finding money in your couch cushions, but on a bigger scale. This strategy involves taking a sort of forensic look at your budget.
Forensic, okay.
Yeah, uncovering those ghost money expenses, things you forgot you were paying for, or maybe subscriptions you just don't value anymore. Then, the crucial part, you directly funnel whatever you save straight into your emergency fund.
So what are some common examples?
Oh, the really relatable stuff, like deciding to brew your coffee at home instead of grabbing that daily $4 latte, or finally canceling one or two of those streaming services you hardly ever watch.
We all probably have a few of those.
I think so. And the sources make a really compelling point. Even just finding and redirecting $20 a week adds up. That's over $1,000 in a year. That's real money, just sitting there waiting to be put to better use.
Wow, $20 a week really adds up.
It truly does. And it's often found in those regular outgoings if you just scrutinize them a bit.
Yeah.
Our sources pinpoint things like diligent meal planning to cut down food waste, then banking the difference.
Smart.
Yeah.
What else?
Or, actually picking up the phone and trying to negotiate a lower rate on your cable or phone bill. If you succeed, immediately redirect that saving.
Should probably try that.
It's worth a shot. Even something simple like a no eating out challenge for just 1 month. Stash what you would have spent into savings. It can make a surprising difference.
And you mentioned involving family.
Yeah, if you have a family, getting everyone involved can be great. It teaches kids valuable lessons about saving. We saw this case study of a family of 4. They took a really hard look at their spending.
What did they find?
They realized they were losing over $100 a month on things like subscription boxes they didn't really use and gym memberships that were gathering dust.
Ouch. Relatable, though.
Totally. So they cut those expenses. Then, importantly, they immediately set up a recurring $120 monthly transfer straight to their emergency fund.
So they locked in the savings.
Exactly. And a year later, they had nearly $1,500 extra saved up, which, as luck would have it, perfectly covered a major unexpected car repair that popped up.
Wow. That proves the point right there.
It really does. Every time you find money in your budget, point it towards your fund. You'll be surprised how quickly it can grow.
Okay, speaking of unexpected money,
Yeah.
what about those times you get a little extra cash you were really counting on, like a bonus or something?
Yes. Windfalls. Our sources absolutely highlight these as perfect chances to, supercharge your savings.
Supercharge. Okay, so what counts as a windfall?
We're talking things like tax refunds, maybe a work bonus, stimulus checks if those happen, even monetary gifts for birthdays or holidays, or, hey, even the cash you make from finally having that garage sale.
Right, money that wasn't part of the regular plan.
Exactly. These aren't just nice-to-haves. They're prime opportunities to accelerate your progress towards that savings goal, sometimes dramatically.
What's the logic there? Why are they so effective?
Well, the real beauty of windfalls, connecting it back to the budget, is that this money isn't already earmarked for your regular bills, right? You won't really miss what wasn't part of your everyday spending plan.
True. You haven't gotten used to spending it yet.
Precisely. So our sources really emphasize this as one of the quickest ways to build your funds significantly. Even smaller windfalls, like a $50 birthday check or a $200 rebate from a purchase, can provide meaningful boosts. Don't just let them get absorbed into general spending.
got an example of someone doing this well.
Yeah, there was a great story about a single dad. He got a $2,000 tax refund.
Nice windfall.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he was really thoughtful about it. He allocated $1,500, the bulk of it, directly into his emergency savings. Then he used the remaining $500 for a well-deserved treat for himself and his kid.
Smart balance.
Yeah, and that single $1,500 deposit, it instantly gave him coverage for a couple of months' worth of essential expenses. Combined with the smaller, regular contributions he was already making, he actually hit his 3-month emergency fund goal by the end of that year.
That's fantastic. Using a one-off event to make huge progress.
Exactly. Don't underestimate those windfalls.
Okay, now, what about when things are going well? Your income grows, maybe you raise a new job, you start a side hustle. There's this temptation, right? Lifestyle creep.
Oh, it's a powerful temptation. Your income goes up, and somehow your spending just expands to meet it.
Happens easily. So how do you fight that and use the extra income for savings instead?
This strategy is all about being intentional. Instead of letting your spending naturally inflate, you cleverly channel that extra income into fuel for your emergency fund.
So what's the practical tip?
The key insight is to decide, before you get used to the extra money, to direct at least part of that increase straight into savings. Maybe it's 50% of your raise, maybe more, maybe less, but commit a portion.
And that speeds things up without feeling like a sacrifice.
Exactly, because you never adjusted your lifestyle to that higher baseline spending level. So you don't necessarily feel deprived, but your savings get a significant boost.
That makes a lot of sense. It's proactive.
It really is. And it's fascinating how effectively you can boost your fund this way without really noticing a big change in your day-to-day spending. Our sources also suggest, for instance, if you specifically take on a side gig or maybe some extra overtime with the explicit goal of building your fund,
Yeah.
commit those earnings directly to it. Don't let them mingle with your regular spending money. Earmark them from the start.
Got it. Like a dedicated project fund.
Exactly. We found this brilliant example. A couple made a pact. Anytime either of them got a pay increase, they agreed they would continue living on their old salary for 6 months.
Oh, interesting rule.
Yeah, and they'd automatically bank the difference during that time. So when the wife got a 3% raise, it worked out to about $150 a month. After taxes, they stuck to their rule.
What did they do?
They simply increased their automatic savings transfer by $100 a month, and they kept the extra $50 for, a little bit of fun money, a small treat.
So they still got some benefit immediately.
Right, but they barely registered a difference in their overall spending habits. Yet that extra $100 a month, it quietly added $1,200 to their emergency fund that year.
Wow. That's a powerful demonstration of just setting yourself up for success, isn't it?
Absolutely. Pre-commitment works wonders.
Okay, so people are saving, they're automating, they're finding hidden money, they're using raises wisely. But saving can feel slow sometimes. How do you keep that motivation up? How do you keep the momentum going?
That's a really crucial point, because it can feel like a slow burn. Our sources are really clear on this. Tracking your progress and actually celebrating your achievements is absolutely vital for maintaining motivation.
So visualizing it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about simple ideas, maybe charting your progress on a graph you stick on the fridge, setting up text alerts from your bank so you see the balance grow, or even using one of those visual aids like a savings goal thermometer you color in. Physically seeing the fund grow makes it feel more real.
Makes it tangible.
And the importance of celebrating those milestones really connects with what the sources highlight about positive reinforcement.
What kind of milestones?
Things like hitting that first $1,000, or reaching 1 full month's worth of expenses saved, or finally hitting that 3-month target. These are all totally worthy of acknowledging, maybe with a small, reasonable treat.
So rewarding yourself for the good behavior.
Exactly. This positive feedback loop is so important for cementing those good habits. It makes the whole journey feel less like a slog and more like a series of wins.
That makes sense.
Right.
What else keeps momentum?
Well, another key thing to remember is that financial planning isn't static, right? Life changes.
Definitely.
So it's really crucial to periodically reassess your emergency fund goal. Maybe you started aiming for 3 months of expenses, but then perhaps you start a family or buy a house or take on other financial responsibilities.
Your needs change.
Right. So you might decide you need to increase your target from 3 months to, say, 6 months of expenses for greater peace of mind. It's just like you'd update your insurance coverage or maybe your will when life circumstances change. You need to apply that same proactive thinking to your emergency fund target.
Good point. Keep it relevant to your current life.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about making things even easier. What about technology? Are there tools or hacks that can help automate savings even more painlessly?
Oh, absolutely. Technology can be a fantastic ally here. There are some really neat little hacks available now that can painlessly direct extra bits of money towards your savings without you really having to think about it at all.
Okay, like what?
Well, it's actually a game changer how some modern banking tools can just quietly work away in the background for you.
Yeah.
Many banking apps now offer features often called roundups.
Roundups, how do they work?
So, whenever you make a purchase with your debit card, let's say you buy a coffee for $3.60, the app automatically rounds that purchase up to the next whole dollar,
Wow.
which would be $4 in this case. And then it automatically transfers the difference, that 40 cents from your checking account, into your savings account.
Huh. Just sweeps the spare change.
Exactly. It's like virtual spare change. It might seem really tiny, just pennies here and there, but over time, this can quietly accumulate hundreds of dollars a year without you ever feeling the pinch. It's saving without thinking.
That sounds incredibly easy. Anything else like that?
Yeah, other sources suggest things like automatically funneling any cashback rewards you earn from credit cards or maybe rebates you get from purchases directly into your emergency fund instead of just letting them get spent.
Smart.
Yeah.
Use the free money for savings.
Right. And another tip, especially for people paid biweekly, remember there are 2 months every year where you get 3 paychecks instead of 2.
Ah, the extra paycheck month.
Exactly. If you intentionally plan ahead to save a good portion of those extra paychecks, it can significantly accelerate your funds growth. Use those bonus pay periods strategically.
Okay, these are great tips. Now, let's tackle something maybe a bit harder. What happens when you actually have to dip into that emergency fund you worked so hard to build? People must feel disheartened, right? Like they failed.
That's such an important point. And yes, that feeling is common. It can feel like a setback, like all that effort was undone. But our sources offer a really powerful and necessary reframe on
A
this.
reframe. Okay, how?
If you step back and look at the bigger picture, using your fund isn't a failure at all, actually. It means it worked.
Ah, because it was there when you needed it.
Exactly. It's a success story. You had the money ready for the emergency precisely when you needed it, and crucially, you avoided falling into potentially high-interest debt because of it. That's the whole point of the fund.
Okay, that's a much better way to look at it. So, what's the next step after you use it?
Right, the important question becomes, what do you do next? The key is simply to view replenishing the fund as your very next savings goal, just like when you first started building it from scratch.
So you start again.
Essentially, yes, but here's the thing. You're never truly back at absolute zero because you've already built the saving habit. You know how to do it. You've proven to yourself you can.
Right, you have the skills now.
Exactly. We saw an example of a family. They had saved up $10,000, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, they had a medical emergency and needed to use $6,000 of it.
Oof, that's a big hit.
It is. But after they dealt with the immediate crisis, they made a very conscious decision. They decided to temporarily pause some other financial goals, maybe extra investing or some discretionary spending, and refocus their efforts entirely on refilling that $6,000 gap in their emergency fund.
So they prioritize rebuilding the safety net.
They did. They understood it was just a temporary shift in priorities, acknowledging that, yeah, life can sometimes throw more than one curveball. The really crucial lesson here is just to keep going. Don't let using the fund derail you permanently. Your future self will definitely thank you for that persistence.
That's really encouraging. Okay, so bringing all these strategies together,
Yeah.
how does this look in practice? Does it differ much for, say, families versus single people?
Well, every household definitely approaches the journey a bit uniquely, right? For families, it often becomes more of a team effort. It can spark really valuable budgeting discussions between partners.
Yeah, getting on the same page.
Exactly. And maybe even involving the kids, like we mentioned, perhaps turning saving into something fun, like agreeing, okay, Friday is pizza night at home instead of eating out this month, specifically to boost the fund.
Making it a shared goal.
Mm-hmm. Whereas for a single person, it might be more about cultivating that self-discipline and finding creative ways to save that fit their individual lifestyle, maybe picking up a short-term side project just to kickstart the fund or selling some unused stuff online.
So the how might differ, but the what's stays the same.
Precisely. What truly stands out across all these different strategies and situations is that common thread: consistency and prioritization.
Prioritization seems key.
Absolutely. Our sources universally emphasize this. Your emergency fund should be one of your absolute top financial priorities until it reaches a level you're comfortable with.
Even before other things,
Yeah.
like paying down debt.
Often, yes. In fact, it's frequently recommended to really focus on building at least that starter emergency fund before you get super aggressive with paying down lower interest debts or making significant extra investments.
Why is that? Why the fund first?
Because that fund, that safety net, it forms the absolute bedrock of your financial stability. It's foundational.
Okay.
Once that foundation is solidly in place, you gain this immense confidence. You feel much more secure pursuing those other important goals like investing more or tackling debt faster without that constant background fear that just one unexpected expense, one surprise bill could completely knock everything off track.
It buys you breathing room, peace of mind.
Exactly. It truly is the silent protector of your entire financial future.
Okay, let's bring this deep dive full circle one last time then. We've really unpacked a lot here. It seems like building an emergency fund, while, yeah, it's definitely a marathon, it's absolutely achievable with these kinds of practical step-by-step strategies we've talked about.
Definitely achievable.
From embracing the power of just starting small, getting that first win, to automating your savings so it happens without thinking, then finding ways to trim expenses, leveraging those unexpected windfalls. There really does seem to be a clear, accessible path for pretty much everyone to build this essential financial safety net.
There really is, and perhaps this leaves you, the listener, with a powerful question to consider. How will you make building your emergency fund a genuine priority, knowing now that it's the absolute bedrock of your financial well-being?
A question to act on.
Yes. And remember, as we discussed, periodically reassess that goal as your life inevitably changes. Keep it relevant. Your future self, the one who navigates life's bumps with less stress because that fund is there. They will undoubtedly thank you for making this commitment to your financial security today. It provides a peace of mind that honestly is pretty priceless.